this could be the most underrated 1/10 scale short course truck ever. Now when I say underrated, I don't think it's underrated with racing fans, but when it comes to people who enjoy bashing, this thing is almost never an option, and the Slash or the Senton always seem to be the clear winners. Now I've owned many Hobaos in my time, including nitro and electric cars, and the Hyper 7.5 Nitro and electric Hyper SSTE are two of my favourite RC cars of all time, and I have proved time and time again that these cars can be daily bashers. I love them and I use them almost daily, but I never use them on a track. Now I wanted to get another Hobao or Hobao back on my channel, so I did a recent poll and I asked you guys which one you'd like to see. I listed all of the options there that I haven't actually owned, and you guys picked the Hyper 10 short course. And here it is, this is the truck you guys voted for. It's the Hyper 10 short course. Now of course it's in the box at the moment. We're going to get this unboxed, we'll take a closer look at what we get, and then we'll get this thing built. So in the box we've got the clear body shell, and I will be painting this later. We have a black and white but very in-depth manual. We have our decals and they look really cool. We have our window masks. This is our parts bag and we've got our shocks in there. We've also got some Allen keys, some body clips and some extra hardware. There's also some zip ties in there. They're always nice to see because they do come in handy when it comes to mounting our electronics. We have our tyres. Now these feel like a very nice compound, and I will have to glue those to the wheels later. And then finally we have the truck itself. Now initial impressions, well, Hobao have smashed it yet again. The quality on this thing is insane, and what's really surprised me is how light this chassis actually is. Now we will cover all of the chassis features later, but first let's talk about my choice of electronics. Now I wanted this thing to be semi-high end, and I think I've got a great little combo. Now the motor and ESC that I'm going to be running is the Hobby Max 10. Now this is the Gen 2 ESC. This thing is 140 amps and it should be perfect in this truck. The motor is a 3665 3200 kV. The servo that I'm running is a Savox SA1231. It's metal geared and it's about 32 kilos of steering power. Finally, the transmitter and receiver choice I've gone for is my trusty MX6. This is the Sanwa. This thing is highly responsive and it should be perfect on this build. Now even though the ESC is 4S ready, the motor will only go up to 3S, but I only intend to run 2S or 3S anyway. So we've pretty much covered the introduction. It's now time to get this thing built. And here it is, this is the finished product. Now I've gone for a very bright orange and black colour scheme. I think it looks quite cool. Let me know what you think. Now I didn't want to go for any crazy designs with this. I wanted to keep it nice and simple, and I think the outcome is actually pretty good. There's a few little imperfections here and there, but I'm not really that bothered because I'm going to be bashing this thing anyway. I could have probably spent a bit longer applying the stickers as well. I did rush that slightly, but again, I think it looks quite cool. So let's take a look under the body then. Now the overall build process was really simple. I did have to glue the tyres to the wheels, fit the shocks, and of course fit my own choice of electronics. Now you may be thinking, hang on a minute, The motor wires are incredibly long, and yes they are, but I don't like cutting anything just in case I decide to use this setup in something else. So we've already covered the electronics, let's talk about some of the chassis features. And we have an incredibly flexible front bumper, and the same on the rear. We've got very nice oil-filled adjustable shocks. We've got metal CVDs at the front, dog bones on the rear. This thing has a front, a centre and a rear diff, metal centre drive shafts, a metal chassis. Of course we've got hex hardware throughout, metal front and rear shock towers. Now we've also got front and rear sway bars. Now this truck also features a pillow ball suspension setup, which we only usually see on the larger cars. Now everything looks great on this, it's incredibly well built, but there is a couple of things that I'm not keen on. And the first thing is I wish this had a proper receiver box. Now the second thing I don't like is the size of this battery tray. It is super tiny. I'm not quite sure why they couldn't have made it slightly longer, but I'm going to struggle to fit a decent sized pack in there. Now I haven't built this truck for speed, I want this to be a really good performer off-road. And that's exactly what we're going to do, so let's power it up and let's see how it performs. So here we go, first test of the Hyper 10 short course. Now this does actually handle incredibly well, even though there is slightly more weight distributed towards the front. Now just look how smooth this thing is with that censored system. Very, very impressive. And this is on 2S at the moment, but 2S feels like more than enough for me. What a cool little truck. And what I like most about rolling chassis is you do get a free choice of what you want to run when it comes to your electronics, and you don't have to spend a fortune. You could quite easily fit a very cheap brushless system to this, and you're still going to have a huge amount of fun. Now I want to hear from you guys, would you pick one of these up over a Traxxas Slash or an Armour Senton? And if you would, let me know in the comments section down below your reasons why. And yes, while this thing isn't perfect, I think it's still a really good option for some people. Absolutely fine, no issues. What a beast. What a beast. So there we go then guys, that was my new Hyper 10 short course. Now this thing has turned out to be an excellent performing truck. Is this going to replace my Senton as my daily basher? I'm not 100% sure it is, but it's still a really good option, especially if you have some spare electronics lying around. Now whilst it does feel agile and very easy to drive, I think the Senton is more fun. And of course you've got Old Faithful, the Traxxas Slash, which is also going to be another really good option. So who is this truck actually for? Now I actually think this is probably better suited on a track, just because of the overall setup. I don't think we can call it an everyday basher. And even though 95% of people who watch this video are all going to turn around and go, no, the Slash and the Senton is way better, you've got better parts availability, better upgrades, we still need to give this thing credit. Now if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're very close to 30,000 subscribers now, so hit that button and help me make it happen. Cheers for watching, see you on the next one, take care. Now if you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more from Hobao here on my channel, click one of these videos now.